And we return to Book 15 of Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, where the Achaean armies are at bay. Now, if you have not yet caught up to this point, or have just stumbled across this video, down in the description below there is a link to a playlist where you can listen to the entire Iliad as it is being recorded. But if you have caught up to this point, then without further ado and no more stalling for time, we begin with Book 15, where despite the continuous struggles, the Achaeans actually managed to push the Trojans back from their ships. And since they have successfully pushed the Trojans away from their walls, the Trojans are now trapped with an Achaean army in the front and their wall of chariots in the back. Zeus, at this time, awakens from his slumber, and since we all know him to be the forgiving type, and if you didn't catch that as sarcasm, Zeus is not the forgiving type at all. And when he awakens, he is absolutely furious with Hera. He threatens her with the worst possible punishments that he can imagine, while Hera sits back and protests her innocence, since she clings on to the technicality that she wasn't the one directly involved in the battle, but her brother Poseidon was. And all I have to say to that is, way to throw your brother underneath the bus there, Hera, and two, way to use your circular reasoning. But I can't fault her too much because this circular reasoning actually works and Zeus accepts this technicality. But since he knows that he was deceived by her, he, as a result, may let her off easy, but he still finds a way to force her to fix the Trojans losing this battle and undo all the damage caused by Poseidon's interference. Now this punishment is amazing since it makes Hera's little fit to make the Trojans lose in this one little moment throw it right in her face as she's forced to undo all that damage and undo everything and make sure the Trojans win. This hurts Hera a lot, as she still reluctantly obeys since this is Zeus you're talking about. Zeus can absolutely destroy you, and he can do it with laughing the entire time. Well, she still reluctantly obeys, and she goes up and provokes the war god Ares to defy Zeus by pointing out that his son was just killed in action down in the Trojan ranks. Ares becomes overwhelmed with fury, begins to dress for war, but is soon stopped by Athena, who reminds him how much of a disappointment he is to their father Zeus. And as Ares goes back to sulking in the corner, Iris calls off Poseidon, warning him that Zeus is now awoken and that he should at the very least tone and mask his efforts. Apollo then swoops down from the Olympus's heights down to the battlefield, strengthening Hector and accompanying him back to the front lines. Upon seeing Hector's return to the battlefield, the Achaean champions gather around together to meet Hector and his army in the field. This courage does not last long, however, as they are quickly struck with terror, and they retreat in a full rout as Apollo knocks down their walls and fills in their trenches before their very eyes. And with the wall knocked down, the Trojan chariots are now able to pass and charge into the Achaean ranks. Nestor desperately prays to Zeus for help, and hearing the prayer, Zeus actually stops the chariots in their tracks just before reaching the ships. Just goes to show that despite Zeus wanting the Trojans to win, he still holds love for the Achaeans, and it's very important to remember that. One archer inside of the battlefield, however, gets a clear shot at Hector, and Zeus, even though he still has love for the Achaeans, still foils him by snapping his freshly strung bow. And it is here that many great men die in a melee, as Hector carves his bloody path to the Achaean ships. And here he sees great Telamon Ajax standing on the ship's deck, fighting off the Trojan torches. And it is here that Zeus's promise is almost fulfilled, as, spoiler alert, only Patroclus' death can fully set it in stone. Then, and only then, will the battle shift for the final time. And with that, Book 15 of Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, comes to a close. And if you're enjoying this, don't hesitate to give a like and give me a comment to see what I can do to improve. But If you would like a copy of the Iliad, you can find an Amazon affiliate link in the description below, where you can actually purchase a leather-bound with a gold and gilded edges pages down in the description below. And with that, I wish everyone the best, and I look forward to seeing you guys for Book 16 of Homer's epic poem, the Iliad. Take care, everyone.